Hey YouTube, I wanted to do a quick video over here on the OPPO Find N2 and the OPPO Pen that I actually bought that works with this device. I haven't seen any other material on this, so I figured it would be a good opportunity to talk about it a little bit. I got my whole setup over here from Giztop. It arrived in just under a week from Hong Kong. I've got the N2 over here, beautiful device, and I'm actually filming this from my OPPO Find N, which I loved as well, and I'm glad to see that the device is a little bit slimmer. It's quite a bit lighter. I got the 12 gigabyte with 256 gigs of memory with the leather back. So I wanted to kind of just take a quick look at the pen over here. So I'll just pause the video real quick and unbox that. So inside what you get is actually very similar to other styluses like the slim pen for the Surface. You get a little USB-C charging cradle or kind of dock over here, which actually has a really special feature on this one. And then you get the pen. The pen itself is quite lightweight. It's definitely not the size of a standard pen. As you can see here in my hand, it's a little bit dwarfed, but it's got a very similar tip to, let's see if we can get the focus over here, similar tip to what you would have on the Samsung styluses for the tablets, and you've also got a button on it as well. What's really neat is that the little dock over here, while it does charge by USB Type-C, it actually seems like there's a little battery inside of this as well. And what I mean by that is that this pen slides in magnetically, and once it sits inside, even without being connected to power, I've got this little LED that goes off over here, and then I would get a charging indicator actually on the phone, which I think is great, because if your pen was running low while you were out and about on the go and you had this in something like a bag, instead of having to be tethered to the wall, you could actually just top up with a little charger over here, which I think is an awesome feature. So I'll run you through very quickly the settings on the device itself. So under settings on the N2, you'll see under the additional settings, there's actually a new entry for stylus. And if you click that, you'll get the little dashboard over here for your stylus. And as you see, it's like I was saying before, it shows that my stylus is charging, and it's not connected to anything. It's only this little dock. And again, I can't read any of the documentation because it's not in English, unfortunately. But I'm under the impression that there's a little battery, which I think is such a neat feature. So you get your standard features over here that you probably would expect from a stylus on a mobile device. You get a couple of options to what you can do when you actually press the button. So you can switch between the current tool and the eraser. You can switch between the current tool and the last use. The color palette, this is for some drawing apps, or you could turn off the button altogether. Sorry about that, I lost connection there for a minute. You get handwriting feedback actually. It says, get realistic haptic feedback while using the pencil effect. Again, this must be for some sort of drawing application. The device didn't come with any, but I'm certain that there's probably some apps that you can get from the OPPO store that will support this. You can use the stylus to take a screenshot. You can do the same thing on the Samsung devices. You can prolong your screen's auto lock when you're using the stylus, which I think is a neat feature. I'm actually going to turn that on. And then you've got some other settings over here, like being able to auto update for the firmware. And then it just gives you a little panel over here which runs you through some of the functions, like being able to take a screenshot, how to press the button to quickly change between the drawing tools, and then it looks like you can actually control your camera with the stylus. Again, the same thing that you would expect from a stylus. You can do the same thing with the Samsung devices. Now, this device, however, again, like the Samsung stylus, connects via Bluetooth. So to set this up initially, you have to go into the Bluetooth settings to set up the pen. So I'll just do a little test for you over here. Again, this isn't really anything that should come as a surprise, but the latency is absolutely amazing on this pen. It really feels very, very one-to-one. I'm very impressed with it. I mean, I do have to test it a little bit more, but I think the pen cost about 119 bucks. Definitely not a cheap one, but if you look comparatively again to like Samsung and some of the other companies, everybody's charging 100 bucks for a stylus now. So I definitely recommend it. I'm going to test it a little bit more, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop it down below. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next one.